Hello everyone, welcome to Junkyard's Game Reviews and More. My name is Brian, and today I'm going to be bringing you a game of Domination on Afghan. Since this video is about 11 minutes long, we're going to discuss a few quick things here today. First, I'll give you a general overview of the gameplay, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of my background in gaming. This is very similar to Junkyard's. And then I'll give you a little bit of idea as how and why I decided to start my own YouTube channel. So first, let's get into the gameplay a little bit. Whenever I decide to play Domination on Afghan, anyone who does play it on a regular basis knows it is pretty much a merry-go-round of flag captures. Most players, once they cap one flag, everyone will rush to the next flag, and then the enemy team will come around from behind them and cap another flag, and that circle just keeps on going and going. So whenever I land on this map, I pretty much like to hang around the C flag and either try to help capture it, or I will try to defend it from the enemy team. Because anyone who knows, there are only two ways, either in or out of that area, so it is relatively easier to do, and there are plenty of spots you can hide and take cover from the noob tubes and grenades and everything else that get flung in there. And you don't have to worry about the snipers from other parts of the map, because everyone knows the snipers love to just hang out on the cliff from C and pick everyone off at every other spot of the map. So I think my strategy here is pretty sound. And this gameplay actually should have been much better than it actually did turn out. I did finish with the second best score in the game, not to play spoiler or anything. And with the amount of air support I put up, I really should have ended up with probably twice as many kills as I ended up getting. But the enemy team actually, surprisingly enough, was very keen on shooting down air support, which is not something you see on a regular basis in most games. So that's pretty much what you can expect to see in this gameplay. And now that we took care of that, let's move on to topic number 2, and that would be my background in gaming. Similar to Junkyard, I am an older gamer. I am 37 years old, and I have been playing ever since I was a kid. The first game I ever owned was Pong. I call that a game because I don't think you can really consider that a console, but the first console or gaming system I ever owned was an Atari 2600. I then migrated to the Atari 5200. Actually television, the Sega, the Nintendo, the PlayStation 2, and now the PlayStation 3. So I have played many games throughout my life. Some of my favorite games back then were the simple sports games. I used to love playing football on the television with my friends, and a lot of times my father, because he is obviously a big sports fan, and at that time when the games were very simple, my dad used to be into that kind of stuff with me as well. But I used to play a lot of games like Baseball Stars, and if anyone actually can remember, Tecmo Bowl, long before Madden ever came out. Some of the very simple sports games that were on the earlier consoles. My friends and I would get together and play on a regular basis, talk trash. And one of my friends, who has somewhat of a temper, I think he broke a controller of mine over the years, because I used to whoop his ass on a regular basis. But just similar to Junkyard as well, I do remember he did a dual commentary a couple months back with Durka, and he had brought up the Commodore 64, and actually I did own that as well. And that was the first computer system, if you even really want to call it that I ever owned. And I probably got more into it than he did. I actually ran my own bulletin board back before there was internet. God, that makes me sound really old. But there used to be this little dongle or attachment that you used to put into the joystick port that it was called, I want to say, Dreadlock or Deadlock bulletin board system, and it would give you the ability to set up forums and create a very basic website design, I guess you could call it. And back then, the online community, if you even really want to call it that, would consist of a handful or maybe up to a dozen people locally. I mean, you were not communicating with people around the world or even around the country. You were pretty much just dialing in with your very basic 300 baud modem or 1200 baud modem or whatever it was you could afford back then. You were only speaking with or communicating with people in the next town over or a very small radius of you. So I know most of you younger guys can't even fathom anything like that, anything as basic and archaic. I mean, compared to now, you turn on your console and you're playing a game with thousands and thousands of people from all around the world, people that don't even speak the same language as you, and how things have grown, I mean, it is just amazing in my eyes compared to what I originally grew up with. But I don't want to bore some of you younger guys with much more detail about something so simple that you guys really don't even have much of a concept of. So now we'll move on to how and why I decided to start uploading my own YouTube videos and why I created my own channel. Back when I first started playing Modern Warfare 2, I started somewhat late. Like I said, I am a 37-year-old guy. I am married, and I do still like to play games on a very regular basis. And the funny thing is, my mother-in-law is actually my main gaming source. She will buy me anywhere from 2, 3, or sometimes even 4 games every holiday. I'll put my list together for just like a kid, and she'll get me whatever games I want for the PS3. And she had picked up Modern Warfare 2 for me the previous Christmas, and I didn't get into it right away because I don't remember what game it was I was playing at the time, so I really didn't put in Modern Warfare 2 until I want to say well after the holidays. And I really just dove into the campaign mode first, and played a lot of that, and even some of the special ops missions. And I didn't even jump into the online multiplayer portion of it, I want to say, until sometime around March or April. And by that time, obviously, the game had been out from anywhere from 4 to 5 months. A lot of people had already prestiged, unlocked all the weapons, learned the maps, and everything else. So by the time I finally decided to start playing multiplayer, I got raped on a daily basis in pretty much every game I got into. I mean, my kill-death ratio and most of my gameplays were absolutely hideous back then. I want to say my kill-death ratio at that time, after a couple months of playing, was probably around like 0.6 and change. I mean, nothing you guys would ever want to see. So obviously I was in need of a little bit of help as far as trying to figure out some strategies and tactics and ideas to make my gameplay experience better and to hopefully have some more success in the game. So I started poking around the internet trying to find some ideas that could help me out, and obviously I had watched some YouTube videos, and that turned out to be my main source. I had watched a ton of gameplays from all the more well-known players, Hutch and CNanners and all the Machinima guys. And that's really how I got started in watching and learning about YouTube gameplays and commentaries and uploading them. But even back then, when I was watching for, like I said, suggestions and ideas as far as how I can improve my gameplay, I really never even fathomed or thought of doing it myself. And I would go into work. One of my coworkers is a pretty big gamer as well, except he plays mainly on the Xbox. And I would go in there every day and talk about Modern Warfare 2 and some of my gameplay experiences and my frustrations and whatnot. And actually, he was one of the first people that ever suggested that I should consider making my own gameplay videos and commentaries, because I would tell him a lot about some of the in-game conversations I had with other players, and some of the things I would rant and rave when I was getting really frustrated. And he had said, that would be pretty funny. He's like, you should consider doing that. So after debating it for a little while, I did finally grab the camcorder from the house, and I said, okay, let me give this a shot. I'll create a handful of videos, and if you like them and some other people like them that watch them, I'll consider doing it. So I did that. I made maybe like 5 or 6 videos with the camcorder over a week or two's time, and I uploaded them here and did some very basic commentary, which actually, looking back at it now, I really only talked about the gameplay, and it really makes me cringe at just how bad those early videos really were. And I had debated it for a little bit longer, probably a couple weeks' time, if I had wanted to put out the money to get a PVR. But coincidentally, it was around the time of my birthday, and I could not think of anything to tell my wife that I wanted. So I said, you know what, just go ahead and I'll order myself the PVR, and that'll be my birthday gift. And the rest is pretty much history. I mean, I started doing a lot more videos, I got a lot more comfortable with it. I started talking about some different things, and the gameplay is almost pretty much secondary to me now as far as what I'm going to talk about during some of my videos. I try to keep everything pretty fresh. I mean, I do all different types of gameplays. I will do team deathmatch, I'll do ground war domination, I'll do a lot of free-for-all games, and one of my favorite things to do is booster hunting videos. I mean, those are just so much fun to play and also to commentate and record for you guys. And I know a lot of people really enjoy those. Those have got to be my most popular videos by far, especially the times when I do turn on the in-game microphone recording, and I record a lot of the boosters whining and crying and pleading, "Bryan, please stop killing us, stop, stop." We're just the boosting lobby. This is a boosting lobby. I mean, it is so damn funny to hear some of these kids whine. Some days I just can't get enough of hunting boosters. It is just so much fun. So I'm definitely going to continue to do a lot of booster hunting videos. But I know a lot of people in general have gotten sick of seeing a lot of gameplays and commentaries all about Modern Warfare 2. So I did decide to pick up a copy of Medal of Honor, and I did a couple of recent videos on that as well. And up until the release of Black Ops, I will try to mix things up for anyone who does check out my channel and bring you a decent amount of Medal of Honor content. I'll still continue to do the booster hunting videos, and like I mentioned, once Black Ops comes out, I do plan on picking that up on day of release, and we'll have a decent amount of content for you on that as soon as it comes out. So that's pretty much what you guys can expect from me and my channel if you do decide to check it out. I really hope you do. But this game is about to wind down. And like I mentioned in the beginning, as you can tell, this game should have been much better than it did turn out. Not that it turned out bad, but with the amount of air support I put up, I should have probably ended up with at least 50 or 60 kills. But these guys are so keen on shooting my stuff down, it wasn't meant to be. Regardless though, I do put up a decent score. It is 35-2-8. So until next time guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon, and I hope you have a good one.